Sometimes right-wing media is so astoundingly dishonest, it just completely blows your mind. Now, Brietbart is a really good example of dishonest right-wing media, that to where the point where it's almost like hollow propaganda as opposed to media. Ben Shapiro of Brietbart created a post in which he said that the race riots in Baltimore explode leftist myths of race. Well, you know, when they say something like that, you know, you gotta click on it. It's almost clickbait, really. Now, what the post tries to do is basically prove that the race riots were not caused by what leftists claim it is, and that their ideas of race are entirely wrong. But here's the funny part. Every myth that they try to debunk actually doesn't have anything to do with the riots in Baltimore whatsoever. I think by now we know that the main reason for these riots is the continuous killing of black people by police. But Ben Shapiro starts with the white police myth, and that in other instances where there were race riots, particularly with Michael Brown, the problem is the majority of police are white, and that's why this happens. And it says, well, you know, in Baltimore, a majority of the police are actually minorities. So, haha, liberals, there you go. Haha, leftists, you've been destroyed. Well, see, the problem is, does that change the fact that black people are being disproportionately murdered by police? No, it doesn't. It almost seems like that's what the police do, not something white police do. It's almost like this idea doesn't challenge the structure and the very nature of the police itself. The next one is the evil police chief myth. Now, it says that in past times, the police chief have been white and they haven't cared about race. But in Baltimore, it's a black police chief and admits that there's a great deal of racism and that tackling racism is a great deal of their strategy and what they're trying to do. So, haha, leftists. Of course, that has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that young black men are being continuously killed by the police. It's almost like the structure of the police has nothing to do with the color of the people that are in it. Next is the evil mayor myth. Well, the mayor's usually white, so therefore the city's racist. And the police do things like that, as they've been in past circumstances. But in Baltimore, the mayor's black, so haha, liberals, haha, leftists, you're wrong. Except the problem is that the killings of young black men seem to continue, and that the race of the mayor seems to have absolutely no impact on that whatsoever. It's almost like that's the structure of the police, not the color of the people in government. It almost seems to be maybe the system itself. In other instances, it's a disproportionate power for whites instead of blacks. In previous cities, while the majority of the population is black, the majority of the people running the city are actually white, and that this is supposedly a reason why these riots happen. Well, other than the fact that this is not why they happen. But Baltimore, the majority of the people in power, the city council, are a majority black, so therefore, haha, liberals, leftists, you're wrong. Except that that really doesn't have anything to do with it. It's almost like there's something wrong with the system itself. It's the system, not the people that are in it. That the race of the people don't matter, but somehow structural to the system itself. And as I've continually pointed out, none of that means that black young men haven't been continuously killed by the police. And finally, the not enough government myth. Well, we need more programs involving church leaders and community leaders, restoring the confidence in both sides, repairing relations between the police and the public. And it goes on to mention that, well, all of the city councilors are Democrats. In fact, there hasn't been a Republican running the city since about 1967. So, therefore, the riots are exactly what? Like, I'm not even sure what the argument is being made here. Like, how does this explode that? Like, it doesn't seem to make any sense. It's almost like that doesn't actually challenge the system itself. Believe it or not, Democrats are not actually closet socialists. So that doesn't mean anything. And besides, How are you supposed to repair the relationship between the victimizer, which is the police, and the victims, the public? Or am I supposed to believe that because of this, the killings never took place? In the end, Shapiro never actually deals with the reason why these riots are happening to begin with, which is the killing of young black men. Every single thing he pointed out that quotes that this whole situation supposedly destroys the myth of, he never actually tackles the reason why the protests are happening to begin with, which is the killings of young black men. And I think this shows either how incredibly stupid these right-wingers are, or how incredibly deluded that they are, that he won't even tackle the very reason why the protests, these riots, are happening to begin with. If you like this video and you'd like to see more of them, then head over to my Patreon page and show your support. Or you can go to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and share on various social media.